Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 7 and Text 5. Deshataha kalato yosav avastataha svatonyataha aviluktava bodhatma sayujjeta jaya katham. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: the pure soul is pure consciousness and is never out of consciousness, either due to circumstances, time, situations, dreams, or other causes. How then does he become engaged in nescience? Purport by Sri Prabhupada. The consciousness of the living being is always present and never changes under any circumstances, as above mentioned. When a living man moves from one place to another, he is conscious that he has changed his position. He is always present in the past, present, and future like electricity. One can remember incidents from his past and can conjecture about his future also on the basis of past experience. He never forgets his personal identity, even though he is placed in awkward circumstances. How then can the living entity become forgetful of his real identity as pure spirit soul and identify with matter unless influenced by something beyond himself? The conclusion is that the living entity is influenced by the avidya potency as confirmed in both the Vishnu Puran and the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. The living entity is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as Para Prakriti, and in the Vishnu Puran he is mentioned as the Para Shakti. He is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord as potency and not as the potent. The potent can exhibit many potencies, but the potency cannot equal to the potent at any stage. One potency may be overcome by another potency, but to the potent, all potencies are under control. The Jiva potency or the Kshetrajna Shakti of the Lord has the tendency to be overpowered by the external potency, avidya, karma samnya, and in this way he is placed in the awkward circumstances of material existence. The living entity cannot be forgetful of his real identity unless influenced by the avidya potency. Because the living entity is prone to the influence of the avidya potency, he can never equal to the supreme potent. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So Vidura is further inquiries to Maitreya. Here he wants to know how a living entity becomes engaged in nescience. Deshataha kalato yosa avastataha. Aso means the living entity, it is pure consciousness. And the consciousness cannot be covered under any circumstances. He is mentioning those circumstances. Deshataha. That means the desha, the kind of place, the circumstantial situation. Then kalataha, by the influence of time. Then avastataha, situations. Then swataha, by dream. Anyataha, by others. Generally we get influenced by all these parameters. Deshataha, place, it influences us. Then kalataha, there is a kala's influence, of course, going on. And then avastataha, will be pushed into some circumstances. Circumstances also influences our consciousness. Swataha, dreams, anyataha, other causes. So these are the various types of situations we may get into But the living entity is never out of consciousness. His consciousness is always bright. So then how is it that here the pure living entity comes under the nescience? It is pronounced as nescience. So I think yesterday there was an article in one of the newspapers that some doctors are able to record the brain activity when a person is dying. In the last moment, when the person is about to die, what exactly happens, or when he dies, what exactly happens, is only known to spiritualists as some kind of a metaphysical thinking. But in terms of the science, data, actual data, to prove what happens in that last moment, till now they could not get such opportunity. But recently, what happened? One old man, elderly man, about 84 years, he joined the hospital. He has an epilepsy in the brain. So he joined the hospital, and so they have fixed all the apparatus. They're tracking the brain activity. Because epilepsy means in the brain, no, it will be some seizure. Suddenly, you know, body gets paralyzed, and seizures are like that. So they have fixed a lot of equipment here, and then they're measuring all those brain activities. And then suddenly, what happened when they're measuring like that? This old man died of a heart attack. So when he died, heart attack, out of head, so they could see, uh, some signals, some kind of a data they have captured. So the doctor who is analyzing the data, he says, this activity is looking like as if he is remembering, he is retrieving some memory. So when somebody retrieves from his memory, is recollecting, retrieving from the memory, brain has certain activity. Before he died, the activity resembled exactly like that. The doctor is saying mostly the patient is able to see some kind of a flash of his during the entire life. Something is recollecting. He is recollecting means he is actually on the verge of death. But looks like the machine is flashing some memories. That's what Shastra also says. Whatever the mind is being trained up in the last moment, those strong impressions will be flashing in the brain, and the jiva will be looking at it, and then he will be moving on to his next life. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, that bhava, the situation, last moment's situation, influences the soul's next destiny. So this is what is surprising to Vidura. How is it that the living entity is pure, consciousness, it is never out of consciousness? Even at the time of death, that old man is conscious. Brain activity is going on. He must be seeing some past memories. Externally, he looks to be in a very horrible situation, but the living entity's consciousness is always bright. It will never go. A living entity can never go out of consciousness. Sometimes when they inject some kind of some chemicals, a person may get into, we will call him as he became unconscious, we'll say. But actually, when he gets up, he understands that last 2 hours, 3 hours, or whatever, I didn't know what happened. He is conscious that he is unable to remember. So this is what Vidura is saying. Deshataha, in any place, kalataha, any time. It could be last moment, or it could be his active moments. Then avasthataha, in any situation, swataha, in dreams. The doctor is saying that brain activity also resembles some kind of dream. When somebody goes through a dream, that means he is seeing something. Right? Dream means what? You see some drama, some movie inside. You will become part of that. So he is saying, swataha, in the dreams, or anyataha, any other situations. So what he says is, avilukta, avabodha, is consciousness will never become avilukta, extinct. He will never go out of consciousness. Avilukta avabodhatma sayujjeta ajaya. So how is it that it comes under the control of nescience? This is the question of Vidura. So we have to, so Prabhupada is saying that yes, the living entity is always present. And it is never changes under any circumstance. There are no changes in the living entity as a soul. So then it is always present, it is always conscious. How is it that it is become forgetful of all this? So Prabhupada is saying, how then the living entity become forgetful of his real identity as pure spirit soul? The conclusion is that living entity is influenced by avidya, potency. So the living entity is one potency of the Supreme Lord, and unless he is influenced by one more potency, that is called avidya, potency, it is not possible for living entity to forget his pure identity. His identity as servant of Krishna, he can never forget. So now, Prabhupada in the rest of the purport, he will be bringing out some words which are connected to this verse in the Vishnu Purana. It says, Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta. The Lord's Shaktis, potencies, energies are para. Para means spiritual. Paraprokta. Kshetrajñakya tatha para. So, one energy is completely para, that is spiritual. Second energy, kshetrajna. Kshetrajna refers to the living entity. So we should know, as living entities, as marginal potencies, we are all kshetrajnas. We are only knowers of this body. So inside the body, the living entity is situated. It has consciousness, but that consciousness is covered by one more energy that is called avidya karma samnyaya tritiya shaktirishate, that is called the third energy. So Vishnu Shakti, one is paraprokta, spiritual, all his energies are spiritual. Next one is kshetrajna, that is the living entity, and third one is avidya karma samnyaya. Avidya karma means the external energy, that is called tritiya shakti. So because of the tritiya shakti's influence, we living entities, we are caught inside this body, and we have become kshetrajnas. Kshetrajna means we are aware of what's happening. We are always conscious. And this whole body, within that we are situated. And this body is like a cinema theater. It's like a house theater. And in that theater inside, the living entity is watching. Theater means there must be one screen, no? There must be one screen on which movies are going on, right? That screen is called the chittam. There is a chitta, there is a screen is there, screen of mind. Living entity is absorbed in watching the mind. Whatever appears on the screen, the jiva becomes identified with the character there, and then it is experiencing pains and pleasures. Even if somebody is thinking I am enjoying, actually he is only a knower. His body is enjoying, he only comes to know. He knows that his body is enjoying. This is Kshetrajna. So we are caught up in this Sharira, which is showing you all kinds of movies. In the daytime, it's a longer movie, and when we sleep, it shows a dream, which is also a movie. One more kind of a movie it is. And then this is not an ordinary movie. It's a 3D with 3D means the videos and I was mentioning, no, in our childhood we had this some movies where you had to wear one some goggles. You have to wear that, and when you go inside, I was mentioning when you remove those special goggles, you'll just see a normal some patches. In fact, you may not even see the form properly. But as soon as you put the goggles, from the movie, for example, there is one incident where one snake comes, and the snake comes too. The goggles are like that. It appears as if it is coming. And immediately you will become very frightened. So whenever as a child we are frightened and we are crying, parents will say, remove goggles. And we used to remove that, and then it's all, nothing is there. Again, it is like that. Inside the screen is not ordinary. You are wearing some goggles. You become absorbed. You will cry. You will enjoy. You will shout. Why? Because in the movie you are identifying with a character. You are identifying with a character. For example, we have one director, no, Ram Gopal Verma. In the beginning, he used to do some horror movies. I don't know, now also probably maybe doing, maybe more expert. So those days also, you just analyze this example. They go to the theater, and it's a normal thing. There is no goggles also there. They sit, and it's something which is going on the screen. Something which is going on the screen. You are seated as a knower. You just know something is going on there. There is a hero, heroine. This is called knower, Kshetrajna. You are watching, that's all. Seer and the seen. These are the two things we need to always remember. We are seers, and there is something seen. We are always seeing. So you visualize, it's a horror movie you went. You paid a lot of money, and you went and sat, and there is something going on the screen. And there is a hero, there is a heroine, there is a villain. More than villain, mostly there will be some ghost, some kind of a booth pret will be there. And then at a particular moment, hero is there, heroine is there. Suddenly there is a ghost coming. There will be a dark sky, and there is a little moon covered with clouds, and then the stars are hardly visible. some sounds are coming. Owls, dogs are barking. Something is moving here, there. And then leaves are shattering. And suddenly you'll see some eyes. When we are describing only, we are able to see what's going on because your mind is painting pictures. You are really seeing some black entity with the dark eyes, reddish eyes coming. That's all. All the children will be crying. Parents will be, they're also upset. They're also influenced, but they're trying to be. But actually, what you are going through, why are you feeling so emotional? You're after all seated. Your seats, nothing is changing. You're seated. Things are going on only on the screen. There is no ghost actually. Is there a ghost actually? There is no ghost. Actually, you are seated with your loving ones. Your father, mother, this, that. But then why are you feeling the presence of a ghost? Why are you feeling horrified? Terrified? So because you are identifying, you are right there as a hero. Nobody identifies with the ghost. you identified with the hero, that's why. If you are identifying with the ghost, you'll be very happy. A ghost kind of a person will be very happy. Oh. So, because of the identification. So that identification, that is the Google that we wear, that is the goggle, that's the specs we wear. False identification. It's called false ego. You enact a particular role in this world as a false ego, enactment of false ego. That means some character. In the movie, we identify with some character, we enact, we become part of that. We feel like that. So that's why it is called Kshetrajna. Although he may be enacting, still Deshataha Kalato Avastataha Svata Anyataha. In all these circumstances, is conscious, is never out of consciousness. Is never out of consciousness. Even when somebody is dying, still he sees flashes of his whatever he has done. There is a dreamy situation. And some flashes are coming. He is identifying. And that situation will be given to the next life. That's why Shastra is saying that we should be very careful to train ourselves to practice Krishna consciousness. This avidya Shakti, the Lord of Ignorance, is Shiva, and Shiva's festival today is Mahashivaratri, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he offers a Shivastaka to Lord Shiva. It is said that it is recorded by Murari Gupta. There he glorifies Shiva in 8 verses. Of course, 9th verse will be a blessing. In one of the verses he says, Sri Rama Govinda Mukunda Saure Sri Krishna Narayana Vasudeva Iti Adhi Namamruta Panamattha Brungadi Payakhila Dukkha Hantre. O Sri Rama, O Govinda, O Mukunda, O Shauri, O Sri Krishna, O Narayana, O Vasudeva. I offer my obeisances unto you, Lord Shiva, the monarch of intoxicated bee-like devotees, is the monarch. Maddened by drinking the nectar of these and other holy names of the Lord, obeisances unto you, the destroyer of all grief. So here Mahaprabhu is glorifying Shiva as an intoxicated bee And what is he intoxicated by? By chanting, by drinking the nectar of the holy names of the Lord. So he is praying to Shiva to give him the blessing that he will also be able to chant like that. So on this auspicious day, we all can pray to Shiva to bless us with the strength to chant the holy names nicely, to bless us with taste to chant these holy names nicely. We request his blessings so that we will be out of ignorance, out of the this influence of nescience. So we should, whatever we have learned about chanting, nicely chanting, we are only distracted because of the nescience. So by praying to pure devotees like Lord Shiva, praying to our spiritual master, we can certainly improve our chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.